Hey, everybody. Today we're going to talk about another strategy for election violence prevention. Most of the strategies we've been talking about so far have been strategies about what are you supposed to do. And this strategy instead is one about how might you go about this work. So it's a how strategy instead of a what strategy. When we're talking about community forums, we're taking advantage of a sociological phenomenon. Basically, this is a thing that we know from studying how people work together, which is that when you bring a group of people together, preferably a group of people that is diverse in some way, they have a bunch of different perspectives on the same subject, or they have different cultural backgrounds, or they have different ways of thinking. When you bring them together and you just say, hey, we're going to sit around and talk about things and get to know each other, that doesn't actually do all that much in terms of preventing violence or decreasing otherizing within that group of people. They can get to know each other, but the relationship doesn't solidify. But if you give them a common goal, and this group of people is working together, like they're building a bridge together or they're painting an image together, then that's a different situation. They get invested in that common goal, and then suddenly the relationships begin to really crystallize. So keeping an election cycle nonviolent, that all by itself actually is a common goal. And when we talk about expanding the definition of we, basically when we say, I am prepared to work with anybody who agrees that we don't want violence, then the common goal that our group has is we don't want violence. We are working together to figure out how to keep the election cycle nonviolent in our particular community. If you're going to hold a community forum, you need to bring together a group of people who are not all the same. This could be a really large group. Some people think of a community forum as 150 people in the basement of a library, and that totally counts. But a community forum could also be 4 or 5 people who are sitting around your table on the back porch or in, sitting around like in camp chairs in the yard. It can also be a growing group. Some people have tried a community forum where you have one person who invites like 2 other people who don't know each other and are very different from each other. And they talk about what can we do to prevent violence in our community. And then the next time that they talk, maybe each of those 3 people also invites 2 more people. And now you have a group of 9. And if you keep making it work like that, you have a growing group over a period of time. Community forums talk about how will we prevent violence in our particular area. Actually, the most effective strategies are not the same in all areas, and community forums recognize that it's best if the community itself generates the strategy. But the thing that is really cool about a community forum is that it's almost like it counts as election violence 2 times. Because let's say you have a community forum, they get together, they decide that they're going to create a peace messaging campaign. The peace messaging campaign will have an effect on the community, but the community forum has already had an effect on the community because it's a group of ideologically diverse people, people who like think differently or come from different backgrounds or have different politics. They've already gotten together and they've had this conversation and they have bonded over that. So that all by itself is election violence prevention. So again, this is a strategy, building a community forum, focusing on the question of how will we prevent violence in the election cycle in our local area. Next time that we talk, we'll go into another common question. What is meant by severe psychological violence in the definition of election violence? That's next time.